Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Absolute Batman Volume 1, The Zoo. So, I really enjoyed this take on Batman. Now, I understand that this is Darkseid doing his, damnedest to kind of, fuck over certain kind of heroes and shit, but it, it really kind of hits on a nice kind of fresh take on Batman and trying to get it a little bit more relatable, even though that it's like this dude's jacked to fucking shit as like a battle axe and drives a giant fucking excavator kind of as his bat tank kind of shit. It's like, yeah, there's still some kind of crazy shit. They still go full ass fucking Batman on the shit, but it kind of fits it more into a kind of context that the new generation can kind of latch onto. Whereas you see recently, it's like a billionaire that would actually use his wealth to actually try and make the world a better place. Yeah, that's rarer than pixie farts and fucking wishing for fucking the entirety of like a candy shop in your hand or shitting in your hand and which is going to fill up first. So I do like that they switched it out and he's more of a working class kind of Batman, more of like a civil engineer doing some kind of crazy stuff. And putting him more kind of like, yes, he's dealing with kind of crazier shit, but putting him more on the back foot and seeing how he gets out of those kind of situations is really kind of cool. It works that the writing and the art flows together pretty well, i.e. you have a nice voice for Batman and you have a nice art style that fits this Batman as well. This jacked fucking giant monster of a man that kind of goes on. And you're like, okay, you kind of also read the Absolute Annual, which actually worked. It's like, okay, I don't know if they're going to collect it into certain kind of ones, and I wanted to go check it out as well. And I'm glad that I finally got here to see what kind of goes on. So, the zoo, we are dealing with the party animals and stuff that's kind of going on. They're kind of racking around and kind of doing kind of crazy shit in Gotham. And we also get that Alfred's more kind of a Black Ops person instead of Batman's butler, because Batman can't afford no butler. Let's see here. So we first start off and we see like young kid kind of go into a zoo and be like, hey, come on, let's go, we'll look at the bats later. It's like, all right, what the hell's kind of going on? And the zoo kind of works because we see what is inciting Batman's incident, Bruce's incident, at a kind of zoo. So we see Alfred kind of checking out what's kind of going on, that Gotham's kind of fucked up. He actually changed up his bike, but as he kind of gets into his place, which is kind of gnarly there, with all the weapons and shit. And evidently we see that he has a strained relationship with his daughter, which bears out more throughout this volume, as we see that he got pulled off of like an important case to kind of see what's going on here, to just pretty much do surveillance and information gathering on the party animals. Let's see. And that, of course, bringing up there's another player in town to not engage with him. So, of course, he's trying to go out, but we see that somebody has taken his bike. It's like, yeah, motherfucker. And we at first see someone that we think is Bruce that is trained up to this kind of point before we get introduced to the Meat Mountain motherfucker himself. And it's like, holy fucking shit. Just kind of like, boom. And I love that they're able to show the weight behind his punches, taking out that punching bag and everything. Is like, holy shit. And then we see that everything's kind of getting interspersed between him kind of punching the punching bag, as we see what's going on with this kind of lion in a cage. Well, it says here he sleeps 20 hours, plus he gets fed prime rib 3 times a day, and never has to be afraid of anything. Bear, he might be coddled, but it'll never affect anything, never mean very much. He never has to go to school, says the boy to the father, the teacher. I'm just messing with you, Mr. Wayne, forgiven. So, are you excited for the movie tonight? I mean, I'm excited for the nap. Do I really have to come? Yes, it's the film you and Mom met at. I get it, but why do I? Oh God. And then we see that shooting is going on. That, like, we see gunshots going on. I was like, what the fuck? Before we see him kind of, like, just cracking out what's going on. And a very interesting thing is we get that these kind of traditional villains that are kind of tied with Batman and his rogues galleries are actually his group of friends, and that he's been with them for a good little bit, growing up with them, as he's pretty much working out at Wayland's gym, who's tied to Killer Croc and everything. We see Nigma, Riddler, Two-Face, let's see, Cobblepot, and so the Penguin and Catwoman. And this little dude is fucking freaky here. Okay, sorry about the blue and the glare. It's like, what the fuck? As we see pretty much the Black Mask taking on and fucking over, let's see, I think it's the Falcones. Because they're like, fuck your party animals. They're assholes. They're killing people right and left. Old ladies, kids, what? And of course, trying to bring up the whole, there's rules and everything. Maroni and Falcone. Of course, he's pretty much making it look like he's not listening to anything they're saying, but then bringing up that he's already pretty much killed and made death masks of people pivotal to their organizations, and then pretty much killing their asses too, with one of the little fuckers stabbing out the eyes of one, and then one of the other ones garroting the other. As we then see Batman getting himself into gear, and the art for Batman is just nuts. And we actually see that Batman's mother, Martha, is alive, as we see Gordon trying to do his best to keep everything under control, as people are like, what the fuck's going on? The cops can't do a damn fucking thing with what's going on. Of course, Bullock's not liking that one bit, and it's like, if the party animals are like killing people like ain't nobody's business, your job is to not have that happen. As they then pop in, getting ready to pretty much take people out. Gordon gets hurt, and we see Barbara trying to keep him in check. And I really like the paneling. It is kind of reminiscent of The Dark Knight Returns. Well, The Dark Knight, yeah. As we get flowing through the paneling and everything like that. And sometimes we get a lot of paneling going on before we get like fucking great spread there. We see that one page of Batman doing his shit. And Batman is kind of nuts. Because we see these claw thingies kind of going off, and we get an understanding of what those kind of things are here, and Alfred's pretty much wanting to kind of engage, as Batman's telling someone not to kind of like open the door or anything. If he interrupts intel gathering, you are to engage. Pennyworth, copy. And of course they're like shooting at Batman as he comes down like a fucking giant ass train, Meat Mountain Man. This is just nuts here, grabbing him with that kind of thing with his cape, as he's like using it to like chuck people and do crazy ass shit. He does not give a fuck, as he's pretty much getting beset upon by the party animals, pretty much trying to do whatever they want. And of course Alfred is being like, alright, you're fast, steady, focused, you're doing a lot of crazy shit, as he's just like taking people left and right out, as like Machete Man dude kind of pops up. He's like, get the fuck out of our way, before we then see him take the bat symbol off and have a giant fucking bat axe, and he's like, yeah, fuck you, and chops off a dude's hand. And seeing him screaming, out of my way. So Batman's always been a kind of brutal one, and this kind of amps it to a level that's like, oh shit, without him going direct fucking killing kind of shit. As they're like looking on like, what the fuck's going on here? As we see an explosion kind of going on. Because Pennyworth's like, you just set a trap for those that are fleeing. And of course, the person on the other line's like, what the fuck's going on down there? As he's like kind of going around seeing what's going on. Putting a shotgun to Batman's head, being like, yo. But like, he just kicks him, takes the gun, and fucking goes back to his work. Who are you really, Bruce Wayne? Talking about how he's smart, excelled in school, parents tested you were near genius level, you won an engineering competition, creating a mobile collapsible bridge that works out to what he's kind of utilizing his cape for. Origami-like, based on the anatomy of a batwing, and the prize is a trophy and a trip for your whole class to the Gotham Zoo. where it starts. Or showcasing that this is where his father dies in a shooting at the zoo, as he has protected other people and blocked the door, and that is his inciting incident. Saying that he lost himself for a while, kind of getting arrested, and then kind of going and looking into other stuff. And I like how they kind of put the stuff with the bats in there, going to a university and everything on a scholarship, and how he kind of faked an injury, kind of similar to Unbreakable, and then studied applied mechanics, chemistry, criminal psychology, military theory, sociocultural history, everything to prepare you, and then you come home. You set up in Gotham and work in the power grid, then the water department, where he kind of goes through to understand the levels of Gotham, and that's actually kind of cool. It's like, yeah, I mean, he's doing all this kind of shit, and he's still young, about like 20s or whatnot, but it's like impressive to what's kind of going on. As we see that like Alfred was kind of going to go for him, but seeing that his mother is alive to actually kind of like talk to him and everything. Of course, Alfred's daughter's like, fuck you, man, and finds out that he's just a kid, and then he was squatting in this kind of tower thing, and he's like, alright, I'm getting you down. As he's got this gun that he's modified to shoot pretty much his bat pellet kind of stuff. Little batarangs. You're no killer. Boom. Shit, you shot him in the fucking face. As he still takes the motorcycle that he fucking stole from him. He's like, you fucking asshole. Where are you gonna land? That's if he needs to land. Motherfucker. And we, throughout these issues, also get seated the Joker. It's like, what the fuck's going on with this? Where the Joker seems to be more this kind of billionaire kind of dude. I mean, like, didn't you ever hear? The guy never laughs. Not at anything ever. That's why they call him the Joker. It's like, okay. But we are building up for this. This is one of Batman's pivotal nemesis. He needs to have the weight that he does. So I do like that it takes a little bit to kind of go in there. And we, of course, see where he gets kind of his bat kind of fear and phobia of what he kind of turns into as his father's dead, kind of laying on the door of what's kind of going on. We see him continuing to take on the party animals, as we also are looking into how much damage his fucking suit can take, which is just awesome, and seeing him just kind of utilizing everything to his advantage, being even kind of scrappier than what we normally see in the usual DC universe. And this isn't me completely shitting on the DC, like the normal DC universe. This is just a kind of cool take that I'm into, and we'll see how they kind of go throughout the rest of it, how long it kind of lasts. It's kind of like what was going on with Ultimate Spider-Man. I like Spidey, but sometimes you kind of want to see what, if you can do different kind of things with the character. And this really kind of amps up, and I hope they kind of go on with it. There's a lot of kind of crazy shit. Let's see. Talking about looking at his routine and shit like that. Him blowing up a fucking building like a bat. It's like, shit. Because there's still good stories and everything to be taken from the usual DC universe as well. But there's also good things of being like, okay, what would happen if you did this character today? And I really think that comics should have that kind of imprint. Refresh it every so often, every like decade or so. Because sometimes you're like, okay, let's see what goes on here. We'll see that kind of really happen with like Superman as we're going on. But we see them kind of like talking with Gordon and everything as he's still kind of recuperating. Barbara trying to be like, don't be a dick. Bullock pretty much trying to figure out what to do, of what's going on. Martha actually supporting him and kind of trying to be, even though she's kind of pushing him as well. It's interesting to see their kind of dynamic in relationships, since we don't really see that, well, because she's fucking dead in the regular one, but it's a different kind of dynamic of what's kind of going on, as they're trying to figure out how to make things better for people. And him trying to pretty much get into there with his mayorship, and him kind of going in and helping Bruce when he was a kid. It's like, ah, shit. And seeing Martha being like, I barely know him at all nowadays. How his friends were there, and she tries to kind of help him, but he's the trauma of what was going on with his father and everything that happened there. Just he couldn't deal with it at that moment. And then we get a really kind of cool one where he's actually playing with his friends nowadays in just a game of cards and trying to kind of learn what's kind of going on, because they're all kind of in the back on the street kind of level. Cobblepot being the more obvious one of being linked to organized crime. Enigma just like doing his own kind of shit as they're trying to learn some information and everything like that. Pretty much bringing the party animal stuff there, and of course Enigma can't help himself. It's like, ooh, let's see what's kind of going on with this. And of course Cobblepot's like, what the fuck's going on? Word is, their man, Roman, he kills everyone who meets and tries to make a deal. And yeah, I'm out. Eddie? Nah, I got kings coming my way next hand. Waylon? I'm out too. I will say, it's nice to see you so fired up, Bruce. Alright, Harv, you and me. I gotta ask, though. You're deep in. You think it's political? The party animals causing havoc this close to an election? You think it's to sink Gordon? And trying to put all that, and of course we see a Joker kind of thing, like, alright, we're getting the teases there. As he's trying to figure out who's like corporate doning, what's kind of going on, seeing him actually sneak in. It's little things like that, like seeing him do a little lockpick. You don't have to do that all the time, but showing that he's got these kind of skills and what he's doing. Before they try and pretty much blow his ass up, as Roman's like, hey, stop fucking with my people. Saying that all you gotta do is kind of survive. Alfred's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not really getting out of here. Before we see he's fucking giant ass thing, and it deserves a full fucking page. It's like, boom. And Alfred's like, Jesus. And we get a nice cool little thing as he's talking with then Selena as a little kid. It's like, okay. As she brought back the little medal. And it's cool to kind of see them working together a little bit as they're kind of working through their stuff. And I will be intrigued to see how that kind of goes on later on. Because I've always kind of liked Batman and Catwoman together, of their balancing out. I don't mind if they're not considered a kind of canon one. But, like, his relationship with Talia al Ghul is like, what the fuck? We'll see how that kind of goes. Alfred's like, what the fuck are you doing with this giant ass fucking thing? As he's trying to kind of like blitz his way out, and he's actually helping him out because there's like turrets and shit like that blasting their way through everything. It's like, there's nowhere to go. As he fucking just like plops out. He like fucking ejects Alfred and kind of just goes into the water. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit. And then we see that she took him to the Zorro movie. What do you think you're doing here? It's like, oh shit. And the thing is, he then starts getting into the tech with Enigma on the mask of how it obfuscates the wearer's identity, creates a wallet for the wearer connected to a highly protected private network of cryptocurrency called the Black Coin, and 3, as you know, it provides objectives and targets for the wearer with different valuations. Now this is where this is the shit that would be going on. Like, it would make sure that their identities are protected, that they're connected to a crypto network that probably wouldn't be able to be traced back to one or the other, and that gives them objectives, so it's their own kind of closed network of doing crazy ass shit. We see that going on as we see that Martha and Jim Gordon are targeted by them, by Roman, as we see Black Mask fucking taking this dude out. And this is a really effective kind of scene as we're going through, showcasing that he's not just one to let his lackeys do his dirty work, but pretty much breaking this dude's arm and eventually killing him, just because he fucking can. And it's gnarly seeing his eyes kind of like out like that. as we see him pretty much getting into bed with Bullock. Bullock, of course, is not happy that the dude got killed, but he's like, holy shit. We also see that Bruce is getting onto the trail of these arcs. This is where we start getting into Arkham, Arc M, where evidently we'll figure out what's kind of going on with that yet. And it's like, all right, let's see what's going on here. He doesn't give a shit and is still going to go after him. And of course, we see that Selena took him to that movie and actually got him so that way his friends can kind of like be his friends and kind of help him through this. We're all watching this boring ass movie together, beginning to end. Fuck, it's black and white. And we also see Martha in the back as well, and it's a really nice scene of showcasing his support network. We'll see how that kind of goes, because things are probably going to get kind of gnarly for them as well. And yeah, you guys can say that Zorro is boring, depending upon what incarnation you see. Now, Bruce is pretty much trying to tell his mother to kind of lay low, but she is not going to listen to that. And of course, she's talking about how she believes what her and Jim are trying to do, and they're trying to help. What if you can't? What if it's all too big? Then you try anyway. That's who we are, who I am, who your father was, and look how it turned out for him. I'm going to kiss you now so I don't slap you. Goodbye, Bruce. Clean up when you're done. It's like, he's trying to see, like, it's funny that she's coming at it from a different way and he's coming at it from a different way, and he's thinking of it as too big. It's like, sometimes you, even if it's so big that the fucking thing thinks you're an ant and that you aren't doing jack shit, you beat that fucking thing anyway. And him looking in on his daughter, actually, it's like, okay, she's a teacher. And of course, we see that another mayoral candidate gets the endorsement of Bullock, which is like, oh shit. Pretty much saying that it's failed them. We see the talking heads talking about, like, what's going on with Batman. And we then see him pretty much getting an offer from the Black Mask. Let's see. That's right, $200 million to stand down for 1 week, and I'll make sure we go a little bit easier on old Gotham. Now, I can't see you, buddy, but I hope you're smiling just thinking about it. Think about all of the good Batman could do with that kind of money. The cars, the weapons, the tech. But that's the trap. It's funny because they're tempting him to be the kind of Batman from the main universe. And yeah, he's using his money for good, but you are then playing by their rules and utilizing it and being in their kind of system. He's kind of like that way now, but the thing is, once you start going onto that, it's like, okay, then what am I going to compromise? He, of course, says that he'll take the deal, but not in the way that they kind of want for it. Seeing Bruce then confronting his killer in the court case and whatnot. As we see someone pretty much getting accosted and trying for, like, protection money, as we see Batman being like, nah, fuck that noise. And it's really kind of nutty. It's like, shit, like, I choose a bat. And of course, he's explaining to his father how he's able to do this kind of engineering feat of what's kind of going on. Of course, trying to figure out what's going on. This seems to be kind of like the earlier kind of incarnation of him as Batman. It's just fucking theatrics. The face paint. The voice distorter. Silicon fangs loaded with paralytic. And this, the gun, they're street criminals. The most desperate. Scare off the 10 thieves, others take their place. No, it's not enough. Batman needs to do more. Think bigger. So build him, Bruce. And that's how he kind of does. He builds him up and changes what's kind of going on. As we then see him kind of going further through his progression to this absolute Batman that we've seen before. Before now, yeah. And then explaining what's kind of going on with him with the bridge and kind of changing it up and working it out and how he kind of fits it with his father. It's really kind of cool. And then him talking about how he never wanted to leave, how happy they were at the place. And then he kind of explains his whole thinking process with the bridge. I was thinking about the bridge, not the people. That's where to start. Go on. The people. They just want to live, to flourish. But this place, like the assignment says, it's been hit by a disaster. Maybe natural, maybe more likely man-made, but it's in trouble. The people, brave face or not, they've got to be worried about what's going to happen. They look around and see things falling apart. They're hurting. They're feeling like no one sees them. Like they're at the mercy of all these forces that seem beyond their control, powerless. Some are angry at everyone who let them down, and some are scared and hunkering. But it's bad. You killed that happiness, Mr. Chill, forever. So I'm not staying for anything you have to say. I don't care what made you do what you did. I just need you to know that I hate you. Mr. Wayne, I fucking hate you. You hear me? It's like, ah, shit. It's like, I understand that. I'm saying, maybe in another place and time, something else would be enough. But here, in this place, at this moment, their bat needs to be all of it plus more. Explain. It should be more. It should be intimidating, but even more so, like scary, and it should be more adaptable than ever. Roosting in all sorts of new places, just taking spots over. And of course, we see him getting bigger, utilizing his kind of bridge tech for his things. And then how he can pretty much drop the bridge anywhere. It's like, oh, this is really cool. I really kind of like them digging into it and showcasing then how it would then work with everything he's going on. Seeing him, as it's interspersed with him, seeing who's where, doing what. They're like, oh, these people can't get touched. Let's see, though. And that he keeps, and then evidently his father's killer had something to say to him. And then him afterwards getting a kind of tetanus shot of what's kind of going on. Let's see here. So everything starts pretty much ramping up. We see Batman now trying to figure out what's going on with the deal. We see Martha and Gordon trying to figure out if they've really got a chance in this race. Gordon talking to Bruce after his father's death to be like that the zoo is going to be like destroyed and that he won't have to look at it again. And then, of course, he's got the party animals there, and he's decided to burn all that money, because fuck those motherfuckers. See, Roman, I don't need cars or planes or computers. I don't need anything you have. All I need is Batman. And Roman's like, fuck, the deal's off, as he starts going through and fucking taking people out left, right, and center. And also, the one dude that he chopped the arm off, he fucking impales with spikes on his fucking suit. It's like, shit. He is not fucking around. He's like, I'm stuck. No shit, motherfucker. And I love the dense packing of the paneling there. It's like, holy shit. As they're pretty much capturing him, it's like, oh shit, this isn't going to go well. As we see him doing the same kind of move to Bruce that we had seen on that other person. I have just what I wanted. Everything you said up here. Everything you confessed to. It's already at every news station in Gotham. Heh. It's like, you shit. My God, you actually think you achieved something here, don't you? I think he does, Ro. Me too, babe. Baby, wild. He believes that burning the cash, exposing the truth is going to inspire them. He thinks he's a hero. I hate to tell you, pal, but you're not even the main character, right, kiddo? Uh-huh. As they then pretty much try and burn his ass and then get ready to kind of like coup de grace him with his own battle axe. As he's pushed off the building, it's like, shit, this is not going well, but he is still able to kind of save himself with his cape kind of coming out. But then, of course, we see a helicopter bucking in to kind of take his ass out. And Barbara Gordon pretty much getting on the scene, accidentally running him over. Said, "Stop, damn it." Then do it. Go on. And then saying that there's no sign of him, as we see that his mask is kind of left off and everything kind of fucked up on him. Alfred's still looking in on things, and Bruce kind of taking care of himself, as Alfred's like saying that he'll never help him again, that he's a field medic and knows what's going on. Goodbye, kid. And just know what's coming next is on your head. It's like, shit, as he's really fucked up and showing himself kind of trying to fix himself up. And then we see all the party animals and all these things kind of on track. So let's see. Because all those ideas, those dreams you're toiling for, they're dead. Progress is dead. History is dead. Truth is dead. So how about we all just admit it's dead and relax so the pin can hit that sweet little spot. Let's all live in that one split second of ecstasy. Feast on the giant scraps. Jim, what's going on? I don't know. Just stay back. Oh no. Because Batman turned down his invite, I'm offering invitations to all of you. Hundreds of millions of dollars, all up for grabs. Welcome to the party, Gotham. As everything goes to shit. He's like, oh shit, I need help. Pretty much going to Wayland for help, as he's kind of like fucked up. And seeing that cute little party with his friends and him kind of freaking out, but his mom kind of comforting him. And let's see. Jim, like, we start seeing in the initializations of like robbery, 50K, arson, 100K, assault, 150K, murder, 250K, and that Jim's value is like $1 million, and same around the lines for Martha as well. It's like, oh shit. We also see that Alfred's daughter is getting beset upon as well, because everybody's going party animal style. And he's like, "You're the Batman?" That's Penguin, of course, dropping him in onto Roman's boat to go after his people, and just beats the fucking shit out of his people, because it's like, oh god. Now, some of them just kind of buck off by themselves. Yeah, she's worth $1 million as well. Of course, Martha tries to talk them all out of it, and it's like, I get that. Try to appeal to their better interests, but they could potentially be getting all this kind of shit. It's a perfect kind of powder keg and everything. We do see that Alfred has gotten his daughter out of there, and she's kind of pissed off, but she's like, whatever. And of course, Roman's like, "I got you, motherfucker." It's like, I don't give a shit, and just starts beating his fucking ass with... Are they medicine balls? Bowling balls? Some kind of weight thing, but it's hefty as fucking shit. And then he tries to garrote Batman, and it does hurt him, but he's like, fuck you. And talking about like the shriek of like these animals that get hit at the back of the head. It's like, does it sound something like this? And this is the gnarliest thing, as he plunges his bat ears into Roman's eyes. It's just like fucking shit as he's screaming. You fucking lunatic, you will lose everything. Everyone you love. I promise you, you have no idea what you've started. The man goes around dressed as a bat. No matter what you think of his sanity, he knows what he's fucking doing and starting. And of course we see that Batman's able to pretty much get into there and lock down what's kind of going on, blowing up the boat. And then of course the system's fucked up. Even if it was built on like a kind of network that could have been distributed, if you take out the central kind of node that's kind of handling any of that kind of stuff, which is what Batman pretty much did in this case. Does that mean there's no money? As Martha just beats the like fucking cracks his ass, and her and Jim kind of just like hug it out. Let's see. What you went through, you'd have every right to say to hell with it all. Live angry or afraid, but that's not who you are. The way you got back out there with your friends, what you said to Jim at the funeral, because the other thing you can do when bad things happen is use the pain to be even more determined, more hopeful. You wear the pain like a damn cape, and you work every day to stop those bad things from ever happening again. That's how you win against the nightmares. How you win against all of it, always. Kid, if I'm sticking around, so are you. Now, let's get you patched up. As Alfred does patch him up, it's like, damn it, you fucking asshole. So, let's see here. Then we get this epilogue, which is freaky as fucking shit. Epilogue. Sir, Zionis is reporting. It seems there's been a small snag in Gotham City. I'm aware. It's time. Get Bane. As we see him, like, with weird fucking things on him that looks like a weird kind of baby fucking thing. It's like, what the fuck's going on here before his hand turns to normal? So, I liked seeing him kind of get through and try and understand what was going on with the party animals. Figuring out Sidonis' Roman's plan of turning pretty much the city against everybody, and also trying to be like, if I just throw money at this guy, he'll leave us alone. And the thing is, you'd think that he would... Okay, look at this dude. He's got no money and resources. You think he'd just stop for a week? I mean, he knows that you'd probably renege on the deal and try and kill his ass anyway, so... What else you got, you crazy motherfucker? It was just nuts. And I like seeing the interspersing throughout of him dealing with the death of his father, his friends trying to help him out, and how his friends could potentially turn into his rogues gallery, or potentially his rogues that turn into maybe allies, depending upon what goes on. This is the kind of cool thing that goes on with like remixing and everything, and the art just sells the emotions of what's going on, seeing Bruce's pain of dealing with his father's death, his pain of getting his arm broken and everything like that, and then also the action and the physicality, showcasing big set pieces when it's needed and going for smaller ones to really hone in on certain kind of action. So I really am interested in liking this take in this absolute universe, and I'm definitely going to check out more of it as well. So I would definitely recommend this for people that are interested in this kind of Batman, and also interested in Batman in general. Like, this would be a good one to be like, oh, okay, this is an interesting and newer kind of take on Batman. What about other kind of ones? Because the main Batman still has stuff to say that is different than this. Because a billionaire choosing to use his money and his pain and his trauma to help people is a very interesting story to take on. Now, its believability, especially of what goes on nowadays, is completely and utterly out the fucking window, where you're like, yeah, okie dokie. But there's still stuff to be said from Bruce Wayne and Batman in the main universe. But this, I really liked it. I don't think I would... It's not a scenario where I would put one over the other. I like them for different kind of reasons, if that makes sense. It's not like you'd be like saying, oh, who's your favorite kind of band or whatnot? Well, in certain instances, it depends upon genre. It depends upon what kind of thing, even within a certain kind of genre. If you're liking kind of simple, hard-rocking stuff and you go for AC/DC, that's cool. If you're looking into more kind of crazy shit that could be going on with experimentation with, like, Led Zeppelin or whatnot. Or kind of like your popish kind of pops of, like, the Rolling Stones, even though they go onto some crazy-ass, dirty-ass lyrics. I'd actually put them more kind of fighting on style with AC/DC, with AC/DC kind of being the kind of natural kind of evolution of the later kind of scene of them. But that's just to say that I wouldn't put... I like this, and I'm liking this pretty much at the moment, but I still wouldn't put it over Batman, because there's... both of them have their strengths that I like, and what I kind of think can pull me into the character, that I wouldn't be like, I would say that one is objectively over the other. It's more of like how I'm feeling at the time and what the current kind of writers and artists are doing with the story. And that's where we will see how the absolute line works out at the end, when we start handing off different kind of creative teams and what kind of goes on. Because that's the biggest kind of issue with the modern kind of storytelling with comics. It's mainly down to creative teams and arcs that go on. And this is strong, and it'll be cool. I really want to see where this story goes. But then we'll see the strength of the absolute line if we shift over creative teams. Because that's what people don't really kind of pick up on certain kind of things. It's like, oh, okay, why did this fail later on? Well, it could be a succession of creative teams that don't really gel with people, or kind of don't take what they think, what the core of the character works out as, because this does a good job of understanding the core of the trauma of Bruce. He loses one parent to violence, and he takes that and tries to be this person, this entity that stops this from happening to other people. Now, we change up a little bit of what goes on. One universe, he's a billionaire, or super rich motherfucker because line must go up, billion, trillion, whatever. Here, he's working class. That presents very different kind of problems and different kind of access to resources. What he utilizes and how he utilizes it. That's where you start getting into the differences. And it's like you still have that core there, though. So how do we take the core and we change certain kind of elements about it, and then we see how that affects the story. And this is a strong foundation for that story, and I'm really liking it. If you don't, that's quite all right. The great thing about comics is trying to figure out where those kind of spots are. Now, the thing is, the publishers had to actually give you the other kind of options that you kind of want. You want your normal baseline Batman. You want your absolute Batman. You want crazy gaslight Batman. Well, the thing is, DC really does give you a wealth of options for Batman, so this might not be the best kind of example, but, well, no, it's kind of like similar to Spider-Man, too. It's like, you want this Spider-Man, you want that Spider-Man. Like, that's what you kind of want to do. And then even then, you've got different kind of comics about Spider-Man and Batman. You want more Detective Batman? You go Detective Comics. You want more Batman that's going in on other different kind of things? You get Batman. That's actually the way you kind of want to do it. Now, the juggling is where it gets into effect, but I would definitely recommend this. However, this is more on the adult, darker kind of things kind of going on, so if someone's like, oh, superhero comics are for kids, it's like, understand who you're giving this to. If you're going it for someone that is older and likes Batman, it should be an interesting one for them, depending upon if they like the take. If you're just going to slap this at a kid and be like, hey, look at this. I even wouldn't do that depending upon what goes on with certain kind of baseline ones, because you have to understand what they're kind of going for, and then maybe even sit with them and read it with them to be like, okay, is this freaking you out? Why is this freaking you out? It doesn't have to be complete helicopter parenting, but that way you understand what your kid likes and understands, and they understand that you understand as well. But I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see where this goes next. So those are my opinions on the volume. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.